Excuse me. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hole in the Wall. Oh man, so much has happened in the last couple days, and more has happened in the last couple days. So obviously I can't get to all the news. I'm just kind of snipping and picking what I think is most important to everyone. A lot has happened, especially at the border. So we're gonna get it into the border issues this episode and then also in the next episode because there's more that's coming out about that. So let's get started. So on April 13th of 2022, the U.S. Department of the State held a press briefing. So $3.2 billion have been sent to Ukraine for military aid. America has been keeping a close eye on Russia since before the war broke out. I believe it was about 5 days prior to them actually stepping foot and invading into Ukraine. The U.S. has determined that Russia committed war crimes. They would not specifically say which war crimes Russia had done, but, quote, "It is up to international lawyers to see if it meets that level of threshold of genocide," unquote. The U.S. is helping Ukraine to collect, document, and share evidence of potential war crimes. Ukraine is setting up a case of potential prosecutions against Russia. As of this moment, the U.S. is looking into the possible chemical warfare Russia could have done to Ukraine days ago. The U.S. can't confirm or deny the investigation is still ongoing. The president's position is not the position of the U.S. government on genocide on Ukraine. That's a yes or no question, unquote. The president said international lawyers will make a legal determination as to whether genocide has occurred or in the future may occur, unquote. The reporter then replies to her own question saying, quote, "That's a no," unquote. As he instantly points to another reporter, he was asked if the U.S. is or will support the fleeing Russians leaving their country as they are supporting Ukrainian citizens. His response: "If there are Russians fleeing their country and qualify for immigration to the United States, they are forced to flee because of their forced aggression. That is something we will look into to support." A reporter then confronts and asks a senior ROTC commander, it was not clear what branch or which country the ROTC commander was from, has made comments regarding, quote, revenge against the U.S. He said that, quote, "Killing all American leaders is not enough to take revenge, and what we should do is by following his path through other methods." I did not get who that person was. It was hard to determine because the audio was going in and out for the reporter. So I will keep that link down below so you can kind of watch it and try to figure out who it was. I could not get to it. The reporter then asks if this was a direct threat to America. Then he goes on to respond, "We will serve to protect and defend the United States citizens. This includes those serving the United States now, those who have formerly served the United States in the past. What is true is that this is an issue, Iran policy, and which there are many disagreements, but we are united in our resolve against threats and provocations, and we will work with partners and allies around the world in the region to deter and to respond to any attacks that may be carried out by Iran." The reporter then responds, "Should this comment really have any effect on the negotiations and the decision here at the State Department about the urgency FTO of the nation?" Well, I think you've seen the approach we've taken to the IRGC. The vast majority of the sanctions we've imposed on Iran have been imposed on IRGC. We are committed to seeing to it using every approach tool that we respond to. Now, going on to the White House held a press briefing that same day on April 13th, 2022. President Biden called Ukrainian president to discuss the possibility of moving possible diplomats back into Ukraine. Zelensky tweeted that him and Biden talked about enhancing sanctions. Currently, as of the 13th, there has been no update that Russia has used chemical warfare in Ukraine. They have stated that many times in different government briefings that they did on the 13th. They are still looking into it. I don't know as of now, 2 days later, if they have or have not. This was confirmed by Jen Psaki. Texas governor promised on the 6th of March 2022 that he would send buses of migrants to Washington, D.C. to show how bad the immigration crisis is at the border. They arrived on the 13th. Jen Psaki previously called it a, quote, publicity stunt, unquote. She was confronted by a reporter about this. Quote, these migrants have been processed by CBT and are free to travel. It's nice the state of Texas is helping them get to their final destination as they await in their outcome of immigration processing. They're all in immigration processing. The same reporter called out Jen about her comment saying, the truck inspections led disruptions to the food and automotive supply chains and rising prices for families. So is the White House blaming Texas governor for inflation? Well, I think we're trying to state the facts of what has been another political stunt that we're seeing happen and the impact of it. And what we're seeing is right now, factually, there are over $1 million in trades crossing over the United Mexico border every minute. These actions are impacting people's jobs and the livelihood of hard-working families in Texas and across the country. That's not a political statement, that's a statement of facts. I'd also note that we're seeing with these unnecessary inspections of trucks transitioning ports of entry between Texas and Mexico, significant delays which are resulting in a drop in commercial traffic of up to 60 to 70% of ports. And that is significantly impacting the local and regional supply chains to the point of trade associations of officials and businesses are calling for the Texas governor to reserve their self-inflicted gridlock. Also note that CBP officers are good at their jobs and Texas DPS does not need to respond. So let's talk about what's been going on with the governor of Texas. Now, the governor, Greg Abbott of Texas, he met up with Mexico's governor of Leon on March 13th, 2022. So he had been in the process of talking and working with the Mexico governors on the border that transit imports from over the river. So those cities that are connected by bridges that transport in and out. He has been working with those specific counties and governors to help with the immigration and migrant problem. So he met up with Governor Leon's on March 13, 2022. So they both signed a document stating that Mexico Governor of Leon, Alejandro Garcia, that the two of them would work together to protect human smuggling from happening. Governor Garcia would do his part to have a stronger border control on the bridge crossing Leon. Governor Greg Abbott of Texas also made a statement that he has been getting a lot of the governors across into Mexico have actually been contacting him specifically, and the State Department that work with him. He's been getting a lot of them, and he made a statement saying, I look forward to working with all of them. So the White House basically isn't happy that Texas is taking things into their own hands because obviously Biden hasn't done squat. And so what's going on now is Texas is doing their own thing, which Texas has always done to get crap done. So as of now, that's the news update. I am trying to push out and figure out what's going on more with the border because there's a lot of info coming out. There just came out more info about Ukraine and Russia apparently, and China and Taiwan. So we have a lot to talk about. So I will be in contact with you guys soon.
that what they're saying? Or did you ever wanna swell?